Hello everyone, my name is Evan Jacobs. Welcome to another edition of Boxing Time TV. We have got an interesting bout. It's coming up on March 19th. Vergil Ortiz versus Michael McKinson. They have the odds even here. Ortiz is 23, McKinson's 27. Ortiz is 5'10", McKinson's 5'9". They're both welterweights, 147. 70 reach for Ortiz. Couldn't find McKinson's reach, so I figured it kind of ballparked at 69. 18 wins, 18 KOs for Vergil Ortiz. Michael McKinson, 21 wins. They're both undefeated, but the thing about McKinson is he only has 2 knockouts. So I don't think he brings a lot power-wise to this contest. So this is going to be interesting because it's one of those things where just exactly how is this going to play out? Will McKinson move in such a way and do certain things and be crafty, use that southpaw style and try to outbox, frustrate, and figure out Ortiz on his own, or does Ortiz steamroll him, land the way that he needs to land, and just obliterates him? I think this is a classic boxer versus puncher matchup, and I think that McKinson maybe brings a style that could give Ortiz problems at times, and you just never know. You never know. Boxing theater of the unexpected. I'm excited about this fight. Excited to see where this is going to go. As usual, I have a lot going on at my desk at this point, so I am just organizing that a little bit, or at least trying to. Sorry about that. All right, and Ortiz going to the body. So these guys are moving well. They're fighting well, and we're almost at the final 30 seconds of this, the first round, and I made it for 3 rounds, didn't I? Or did I make it for 2 rounds? I'm hoping that I did. Otherwise, this is going to be an odd thing. Feels like this should be longer, but who knows? Who knows? We're about to see. I may have to figure something out or change some things a little bit. But, not a bad round for Vergil Ortiz. I think he's landed well, and I think McKinson has definitely held his own. He's standing right in front of him. He's blocking shots. He's stepping just outside of those big punches for now. We'll see if, I'm sure he could probably keep that up. He's a distance fighter. He knows the distance. So, that's something. And I'll bet that makes him even more comfortable in the ring. There's probably very little that he hasn't seen from Vergil Ortiz. So with one judge giving it to Ortiz, another judge giving it to Ortiz, and another judge giving it to Ortiz. So I did. You know what, folks? You know what? I'm gonna new fight it. I'm gonna go up. I'm going back. I want this to be as accurate as possible. So we're gonna do that first round over again, folks. A Boxing Time TV first. It's just how we do it. Why start it? Why, hey, let's lean into the sloppiness. Let's lean into the fact that not as prepared as I should be. There's no point in not doing that. I'm also dumping a bunch of footage onto a couple of hard drives as I do this. So, yeah, there is a lot going on here right now. But you know what? We're getting organized. Slowly but surely, in short order, getting organized. And that, my friend, is the name of the game. Yeah, I knew. It just felt like things were going a little bit too slow. So, no, you're not watching the second round now. You're actually watching the first. And there you have McKinson kind of going to the body. Maybe he's hoping to slow the press of Ortiz down. Got my drink. Just went to the water. I just saw Batman. Folks, I keep falling asleep in the movies. I don't know what I'm going to do. I need to figure this out. I can't be a zombie my whole life. I gotta figure it out. And Ortiz coming. Once again, and folks, I think you're seeing the fight. I think you're seeing what this fight's going to be. We have two highly skilled guys in front of each other. Both have tremendous gifts at the opposite end of the spectrum. You have Vergil Ortiz with all that power. You have McKinson, who's a boxer, masterclass, southpaw. Going to be tough for anybody. This is a good fight for Vergil Ortiz because if he can win this, probably doesn't have to face McKinson again, gets through him, and, you know, kind of can move on and has that sort of under his belt. And who cares if he gets his knockouts sapped? You know, who cares if he is 19-0 with 18 knockouts? It doesn't matter. It's a good thing to have on his resume, you know. But now he backs McKinson up into the ropes. McKinson catching him right there, and it could be that Vergil Ortiz doesn't, you know, mind taking some shots because there's not a lot of power there. So he knows that what he's going to receive in return isn't going to be treacherous. Once again, you are watching Boxing Time TV. If you like what you're seeing, and how could you not? Please like, comment, and subscribe. Please share these links with your family and friends. We're trying to do one of these podcasts a week. So far, I've been pretty good about that. Got spring break coming up the week after next, so there'll be one podcast next Sunday, and then I'm planning on doing them all, not this week, but the following week. So you guys are going to be getting a bunch more simulated fights. And now, McKinson, two of the judges giving it to Ortiz, one judge giving it to McKinson. All right, and right now these two gentlemen are boxing one another, sort of each one showing their strengths. And McKinson's having his moments, folks. McKinson's having his moments against Vergil Ortiz. Oh, and look at McKinson landing hard, throwing that. I'm telling you, I wonder if he can do something in this fight against Ortiz, especially with sort of that Winky Wright-esque southpaw style. And these guys are just landing well on each other, landing hard, and it's going to be interesting to see if this can be kept up. Oh, uppercut from McKinson. And I'm telling you, he's having a lot of success with the left hand. And it could be the kind of thing, who knows, maybe he's able to, maybe he doesn't really hurt Ortiz, but he cuts him or can cause some swelling, and that could be something that McKinson builds on. He's obviously not afraid, and he's standing right in front of Ortiz, and right there he's catching him. And once again, Ortiz may not mind. Ortiz might be like, well, you know, I'll take some shots because I know that mine have more and more power. If I'm Ortiz, I go to the body because he doesn't want he wants to take away the rhythm of Michael McKinson. Oh, and look at that. McKinson standing in center ring and landing on Vergil Ortiz. At the very least, McKinson's getting respect. He's getting his pound of flesh. He's getting his pound of flesh. And for Vergil Ortiz, he had to know this was going to be a tough fight. I mean, you take on a guy who's 21-0, 2 knockouts. You know that this is a guy who knows the distance, who's been around, and who knows how to use the ring and be comfortable in the ring. All right. And so two of the judges, one judge has it even, One judge gave it to Ortiz, another judge gave it to McKinson. So right now we're at 59-57 going into the third round. And folks, this is going to be very, very interesting. Once again, this could also be one of those fights where it's close for the first 6 rounds, and then maybe Ortiz sort of takes over. Oh, and Ortiz landing, and look at this. McKinson kind of pushing him back a little bit. And McKinson, when he gets his distance and when he's able just to sort of step out of the range of those punches, he has his moments. And he's fighting with that high guard, and he's really doing well with his left hand. This is to take nothing away from Vergil Ortiz. But, you know, it's just, one did not, you know, one doesn't think, you know, I didn't expect Vergil Ortiz to come in and be doing this. Oh, look at that. Once again, but you know what? I give Ortiz credit. He's throwing a lot of punches, a lot of voluminous punches. So both guys are throwing a lot of punches. It's the question is, who can, you know, can they keep it up? All right, so one judge having it for Ortiz, one judge having it for McKinson, another judge having it for Ortiz. So Ortiz is up by 3 points. We're going in the fourth round. And folks, I'm telling you, we're seeing a really interesting fight take place because what Michael McKinson's doing in the center of the ring right there, although he just took two beautiful combination from Vergil Ortiz, and McKinson's got to be careful because Ortiz fights with explosive power. This could, you know, that could make this for a very short night for Michael McKinson. Uppercut from Vergil Ortiz, landing well on Michael McKinson. Once again, folks, we're just seeing a classic matchup here, boxer versus puncher, and I'm getting a lot of winky right out of Michael McKinson. In some ways, kind of a little bit of when Miguel Cotto fought Paulie Malignaggi. Both were undefeated. Malignaggi, good, solid boxer. Obviously not like a McKinson in that Malignaggi had power, had pop, and maybe wasn't as fundamentally sound. But yeah, it's looking good for both fighters. And this is a tough fight, and it's the kind of thing that it's sure that the punches of Ortiz might have more power, and he's doing and this should also not be left out either. Ortiz is doing great counterpunching, fighting super duper solidly, great counterpunching here, and look at this. I mean, you have McKinson. He's not even in the center of the ring. He's in Ortiz's corner. He's stepping away just like he did right there. So he was out of the way of Ortiz punches, and then he just keeps landing with these shots. And so they may not be hurting Ortiz, but they look good. They help pile up points. And then you have Ortiz coming back and kind of trying to mimic McKinson a bit, maybe kind of fighting McKinson's fight a bit more. But to give Ortiz credit, he's pulling it off. I mean, he's ahead right now. He's ahead by 3 points. It's a slim margin, but hey, if that's what gets you over the finish line, that's what gets you over the finish line. I'm interested to see what the judges say, and then they're saying that McKinson's tired. Ortiz 10-9, Ortiz 10, now it's even, and then another even one, so highly interesting. Ortiz up by 4 points, but I'm telling you, this is what he needs to do. He keeps going, doesn't matter if it's a majority decision, doesn't matter how this ends up, doesn't matter if he doesn't look good doing it. He's getting great experience. This is experience that he needs. And the fact that, he has never seen the distance, McKinson's seen the distance all those times, that's what makes this so intriguing. Is McKinson, if he's not really getting tired, and let's say maybe Ortiz starts to kind of peter out a bit, will that favor McKinson? Will the damage that Ortiz has inflicted on McKinson be enough to neutralize McKinson as we get into the later parts of the fight that Ortiz is not familiar with? Highly interesting. But this is why I love boxing. Theater of the unexpected, tactical fight. May not be the most exciting, may not be, ground and pound and all that stuff. And don't get me wrong, I love UFC. I appreciate what they're doing. There's a reason why they're beating boxing, because they have all the fighters fight one another. But all that being said, I think there's a lot to be said for this kind of fight in boxing. This sort of technical, just well-schooled fighter bout. Look at this, McKinson not doing bad, folks. I'm telling you. And Vergil Ortiz is fighting a very coy fight, just throwing a lot of punches, landing, and McKinson's being a bit more, it's interesting. You would think that Ortiz would be more tactical and pinpointing his shots, but it's actually McKinson. And maybe that's what makes McKinson's shots look impressive, and maybe that's what makes Ortiz being able to pile up the points and being able to be in control of the fight. All right, so now they're saying that they're both tired. One judge giving it to Ortiz. Another judge having it even. Another judge giving it to Ortiz. So right now, Ortiz, folks, I think is at that point. We're going to see what happens in this round. I think he's starting to pull ahead. He's up by 6 points. He's landing the way that he should land. He's counterpunching, fighting a different kind of tactically style fight. McKinson is, yeah, I mean, I don't think he's slowing down so much as this is what he does, and he's just not used to the caliber of fighter that Vergil Ortiz is. And right now, Ortiz starting to land on the ropes. McKinson not being as aggressive as he was being. And like I said, I think Ortiz now is just going to start taking this over. He's going to start going to the body. Is he going to stop him? I don't think so, folks. I think what's going to happen is this fight's just going to become the same thing round after round. Vergil Ortiz might drop McKinson. But overall, and I'm saying I think this is what the fight is. This is what the fight is what the fight is going to be. And right there, I mean, look at. I mean, Ortiz is coming on, folks. And I'm saying you have McKinson. His output has severely, diminished. Maybe he's hoping that Ortiz punches himself out. But even if he does, I mean, what would McKinson do with him? He doesn't have the power to really hurt him. He's going to have to kind of just want to run the numbers. But McKinson can't really do that because he's not really throwing a lot of punches. Now they're saying that both guys are tired. I don't think that they're going to give McKinson this round, although one of the judges did somehow. Anyway, going in, we got 6 more rounds left. Vergil Ortiz up 7 points. And, McKinson's going to have to do a lot more than he did in that last round, especially now that Vergil Ortiz is going to the body, seems to be feeling very, very comfortable. I mean, it's 6 more rounds, and he's won this fight, although, he'd already fought 6, so he's tired. But we'll see. In my mind, it's looking pretty darn good for Vergil Ortiz. Oh, look at this. McKinson fighting off the ropes, folks. Doing a little bit more, doing those things. And now both guys, I mean, this is tactical stuff. good, solid tactical stuff. And right now, Ortiz is learning, and that is probably one of the biggest takeaways that we can have here is that, you know, he's learning. He's learning things and having situations happen that he has not been in, and it's a question: can McKinson kind of capitalize on that a little bit more? Can he make this? Oh, and Ortiz wobbling McKinson. The only time that McKinson, to his credit, has been wobbled in this fight. And once again, another dominant round from Vergil Ortiz. We got 5 more rounds, folks. And I think Ortiz is just going to keep coming on. He's going to keep breaking him down. 10-9. It's going to be, I think, all 10-9s for Vergil Ortiz. And he's just going to continue this dominance as we have 5 more rounds in this fight. Some of the upcoming bouts that we're going to be doing here on Boxing Time TV are going to be Berlanga Rolls. That's also on 319. I think that's on the undercard of this bout, or it might be the main event. I'm not sure. Lomachenko versus Kambosos. I have a feeling that fight's going to happen, so I'm just going to make that. Although who knows? We could get him versus Devin Haney. Probably before that, I'm going to do Garcia Tego. And then I'm also going to do Charlo Castaño. That was announced. And then next week, so that'll be that. So that'll be next week's bout we already have. And then we have 3 more listed. And then if I'm off for a week, that's 6-7 days. So I got to find 3 more that I'm going to do. I'm excited. Just going to fill it up. Keep it coming. Oh, and going to the body now is Vergil Ortiz. He takes a shot upstairs, but he's up 10 points ahead. He's slowly taking over this fight, and he can afford to do that. And that's the thing. If Vergil Ortiz could probably cruise a little bit, McKinson, his output has become less. He's not a threat in the power department. Even though we say that. But there are situations where that proves not to be true. I remember Doug DeWitt was fighting a gentleman whose name is escaping me right now. Doug DeWitt was fighting a guy, and Doug DeWitt said before the bout, I didn't think he could crack an egg. Well, the guy knocked DeWitt out. So I'm saying we say he doesn't have power. Ortiz is not expecting him to be punching with power. And now you have McKinson wobbled, but Ortiz, maybe he's tired, maybe he's thrown a lot of shots, maybe he wants to conserve some energy because he knows that McKinson knows the distance. Whatever it is, I think we're going to see McKinson here at the final bell, and I think that this is going to be a solid victory for Ortiz and a decent showing by McKinson. Some of Ortiz's victories have included Edges Cavallakis. I know I'm saying his name wrong. I'm butchering it. Maurice Hooker, Samuel Vargas, Antonio Orozco, Mauricio Herrera. I think that was a first-round knockout, too. Oh, no, it wasn't. But he knocked him out. I think it was fairly easy for him. Roberto Ortiz. So, he has a solid record, Ortiz, for being 18-0. He's a young guy. He's 23. So, there's a lot of ground for him to move. And now 10-8, all for Vergil Ortiz. So Vergil Ortiz is now up by 16 points. We're heading into the 9th round, folks. I'm telling you. Oh, but look at that. McKinson starts off and lands 2 hard shots on Vergil Ortiz. Is McKinson gonna go out on his shield? Is he? I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't think he's given up, but I think that he probably knows in many ways that he's outgunned. So the question is, what does he do at this point? Oh, and now he's wobbled, and Ortiz goes for the uppercut. Oh, he's still wobbled, and Ortiz going to the body. He hurt him with a body shot there too. That's the question is, what does McKinson do? He can't really make a final stand. He's got to somehow edge his way back into the fight, pick his way back into the fight, throw a lot more punches, but his punch output is slowed. So he's neutralized, and Vergil Ortiz, to his credit, guy that's not seen the distance, is, looking the fresher of the two. And he's wobbled him twice so far in this ninth round. So it seems like possibly Ortiz could get a knockout if he were to be able to step on the gas a little bit more. Oh, and punching him into the ropes, Vergil Ortiz knocking McKinson into the rope. Here. Oh, always seem to be organized. One of the more unorganized people you guys are ever going to meet. But you know what? I try. Oh, and Ortiz wobbled again. And you know what? McKinson wobbled again. And it is a credit. Oh, and he drops him. Has Vergil Ortiz figured it out? If McKinson does not get up, this is a big feather in the hat of Vergil Ortiz. But I think McKinson's going to, he's going to, I mean, he's knows the distance. He's in good shape. Hard shot, got him down. This is just a good, solid, workmanlike win for Vergil Ortiz. But if he can stop him, that's a big feather in the cap. All right, so now they're saying that Ortiz is obviously tired. McKinson's exhausted, has a cut over his eye. 10-8, 10-7, 10-7, all for Vergil Ortiz. So now Ortiz is up by 24 points. McKinson needs a knockout that he's not going to get. So, this is it. This is what we're going to be seeing. I think we got 3 more rounds of this, short of something miraculous happening for McKinson, or if Vergil Ortiz is able to do that. But if he's tired, I don't know if he's going to be able to step on the gas in that way. Oh, and he's wobbled again. And I'm telling you, Ortiz, I think, maybe has come out to end it. It could just be me. And right now, I mean, Ortiz is basically mauling McKinson. McKinson's trying, he's game, he just doesn't have it. And now he's wobbled again, a body shot wobbling, and and straight right hand. And McKinson's got a good chin. I don't care that he was dropped. He's got a good chin to be able to take all this punishment, to be in there, to do as well as he did for the first 6 or 7 rounds. And look, he just landed. Right now we have 2 more rounds. And I'm saying, guys, I'm sorry that I'm not saying a lot. I don't really have a lot to say. Like like I said, we're seeing a carbon copy, round after round, and it just kind of is what it is. And look at Ortiz just landing. McKinson doing precious little of anything. So, yeah, this is just one of those fights, folks. One of those fights that we do here sometimes on Boxing Time TV. We get a quick knockout. Sometimes things take a little longer, but it's always entertaining, and we're always grateful for what we get. So 10-7, 10-9, 10-7, all for Vergil Ortiz. And so now we're coming into the final round. He is up by 35 points. I think we can pretty much, this one's pretty much academic at this point. Just beautiful straight right hand that Ortiz landed. And I give him credit because there was times when McKinson was trying to set traps, trying to do certain things, and Ortiz is very, very good at counter-punching. He went to the body a bit early, which I think slowed McKinson down and made it so McKinson not only didn't have the movement, but didn't have the output and the volume. And that helped Vergil Ortiz a great deal in this fight. And Ortiz here, he's he's really closing the show, and he's going to the body, landing hard on McKinson. And McKinson at this point, I think the victory is the fact that he survived, the fact that a guy with very little power was able to be competitive fairly well into at least the first half of the fight. But then Ortiz got into his rhythm, got into his zone, realized he could do certain things with McKinson. And this is why we're seeing that at this point in the fight. But McKinson was never going to be competitive from a power standpoint. And so they had to know that going in. And so their style, try as they may, it just wasn't enough for Ortiz. But for the first half of the fight, great showing by McKinson. At least in terms of being competitive. Do I think he won it going away? No. And I think that obviously Vergil Ortiz eradicated that in the second half of the fight with how dominant he was and how much he came on. Oh, and going to the body is Ortiz, and we have the final seconds coming in here. It's been a great fight. Once again, you have been watching Boxing Time TV. If you like what you've seen, please like, comment, and follow. Please share these links with your family and friends. You've just seen Vergil Ortiz take a decision over Michael McKinson, even though we haven't gotten the official result yet. Also, the other thing I was going to say is our motto here at Boxing Time TV is, why wait? Watch it now, then watch the real thing when it airs and compare. So we'll get the decision, we'll tune out, and we'll be back next time with another fight. The winner by decision is Ortiz. Like I said, I think the next bout is going to be Edgar Berlanga versus Steve Rolls, but it could be Garcia versus his opponent to go. The winner is Vergil Ortiz by unanimous decision. The fight lasted 12 rounds. Ortiz was not knocked down. McKinson was knocked down one time and has a cut over his eye. 120, 104, 119, 108, 118, 10, 105. So, thank you so much once again for tuning in, and we will see you at Boxing Time TV. You can also give us a follow on Instagram, where it's Boxing Time TV. I'm sorry, it's Boxing Time with Evan, it's basically just a shadow page on Instagram for this. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you next time from Boxing Time TV.